Hello, welcome to another Animega review, and today I will be reviewing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky for the DS. First came Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. These games are sorta like the Diamond and Pearl version of Mystery Dungeon. Then you have Explorers of Sky, essentially the same game with a few new things. It sorta feels like the Platinum for the Mystery Dungeon franchise. The Mystery Dungeon franchise doesn't tell the story of the trainer, but it tells the story of a Pokemon. And this offers a unique experience for any Pokemon fan since you are the Pokemon. So let's start off with the plot. The plot is that you are a human and for some odd reason you have transformed into a Pokemon. At the very beginning of the game, you take a personality test to determine which Pokemon you will be. I've taken the test more than once, and every time I obtained different results. The test is random, so just retry the test till you hopefully get the Pokemon you want to play as. Then you get to choose your partner Pokemon. Thank God you get to choose, but I rather also have the choice of which Pokemon I play as, instead of doing those tests. I was Piplup and I chose Eevee as my partner. Now, it's important to choose your partner wisely, cause you can't take this decision back, and some partner Pokemons are better than others. After deciding your Pokemon, you and your partner join a guild. In the beginning, you just do ordinary missions. Eventually, your mission is to pretty much save the Pokemon world. It's an RPG. So the time gears have been stolen, and a time gear is a device that prevents time from freezing. So you and your partner must stop this thief. Eventually, like all RPGs, the plot takes a few turns and you find out saving the world isn't that simple. Judging that this is a Pokemon game, I wasn't expecting such an engaging story and a complicated plot. I was expecting something like we caught the Pokemon that was stealing the gears, and that's it. But actually, the ending that I assumed was merely the beginning of this story. Now, the story does take a little while before it starts flowing, and the missions that you do on a daily basis really slow down the plot. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Like most Pokemon games, this is an RPG, but the difference is you have no random encounters, and the battle system feels like a mixture between real-time and turn-based. So first, this is a grid-based RPG. You move one step at a time unless you're running, but when you encounter a Pokemon, you each take turns to attack. You either use your set move, or you can go in the menu to use a certain move. You don't control your partner Pokemon, which creates a problem. Most of the time, my partner Pokemon wasn't in range of the enemy, so he would just stand there, instead of moving to get inside the enemy's range. And when my Eevee was in range, he would use a useless attack, or run away. Sometimes Eevee would attack, and they were strong attacks, but that was rarely the case, and for some odd reason, Eevee would take way more damage than my Piplup. I asked my brother if the same thing happened to him, and he told me that his Riolu would never run away and not take so much damage. So the point is, some Pokemon are stronger than others and you should choose wisely. So this is also a roguelike RPG. This is the perfect introduction to the roguelike RPG genre. If you're not sure if you will enjoy this genre, this game is enough of a simple and satisfying game for you to decide where you stand. If you don't know what a roguelike RPG is, well, it's when you explore random generated dungeons and several of its floors. And when you die, you lose all of your acquired items. So first off, the dungeons are randomly generated and you go down several floors. Every single dungeon kind of feels the same. Yeah, sure you fight different Pokemon, and yeah, sure the backgrounds might be a different color, but essentially, the dungeons are still the same thing. You also have to grind just to level up, and the dungeons being all the same doesn't help take away the feeling of repetitiveness. Let's face it, the gameplay is very repetitive and can take away the fun. Like I said, the dungeons are similar and so are the normal missions. The graphics are the same as any portable Pokemon game, so there's nothing wrong there. At times, some of the dungeons look bland. The soundtrack for this game is superb. You get to hear the nice, joyous, and warm melodies, as well as OSTs that are pretty dark. I would probably say this game has the best soundtrack of any Pokemon game. Some additions to the game are Spinda's Cafe, where you can enter raffles to win items. There are 19 Pokemon you can play as, and the Sinnoh Pokemon are in this game. Also, you get to do these episodes where you play as a character. You play as different characters during a certain time in their life. These quests develop the side characters, and they are still fun. For example, you can do a quest where you play as Bidoof. The gameplay can feel repetitive, and you will have to grind your way to the top in order to beat this game. This is still a good entry for those who have never played a mystery dungeon, as well as those who want to try roguelike RPGs. The soundtrack is one of the best aspects of the game. To conclude this review of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of the Sky, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and if you like my stuff, please consider subscribing.